and it was really, really sensational. I don't know what it was because I didn't ask, but there was a vegetarian option that was so delicious, and then also the chicken was just out of this world.
Thank you. It was an Italian chicken, so it was a chicken with tomato, basil, and a mozzarella. Just nice and light, and a little bit on the health conscious. And we do start with a heart healthy menu, and go from there for any of our residents. But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And then we did something special before we started eating. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Kathy, our life enrichment director, was able to meet with all of you, and we did what is called ashibori. And the simplest way to explain it is if you've been to a Japanese restaurant or on an airline that's a long trip, you'll have them bring you a towel, a wet, moist towel. Yep. For our residents in memory care, to help them prepare for meals and to stimulate and get them ready for the day. It's also hygienic, but we use hot, warm washcloths that are soaked with essential oils. And so we use different scents of oils. I think the night you were there, it was either orange or lemon.
Yeah, it was so refreshing.
And we have found that it helps them prepare for the meal and really stimulates. And it's a sensory, it's the touch, it's the smell, it brings all that in. And it's one of the ways that Charter and the Cottages of Fox Lake are a little bit different in trying to look at the whole individual to prepare them and help them for their purposeful day.
And I really feel that's really an enriching activity too, because it's traditional for us to wash our hands before we eat, and so that's something that the memory, will engage in, and it's a comforting thing for the individuals with memory loss to be able to participate in an activity like that.
And it's not unusual to see several of our residents, after they've cleaned their hands and they'll wash their face and they'll just smile, they'll light up. It gets back to a fundamental, as you said, way of life. And the smells that we'll use, the essential oils, lavender at night will help relax them. And so the citrus smells will increase their awareness through the day. That's just one of the techniques that we're using. We're also using sugar-free flavored waters that are providing B vitamins throughout the day to keep blood sugars where they need to, but to then add extra nutrition, which does help them be stimulated through the day.
Yeah, and then those like the fruit infused water has the vitamins in it, but it also has the potassium and magnesium that everyone is lacking in.
Yeah, it's looking at the whole person and trying to provide the nutrients that they need to support them where they are.
And not to mention the fact that it's encouraging hydration, and we find frequently that the elderly population isn't so good about drinking anymore, drinking fluids, and then it causes other problems. So if we can encourage them to drink, that's really fantastic.
Yeah, in general, seniors have, as we age, we have seen that the senior population sort of has that mindset in their head. If I drink more, I have to go to the bathroom more. And it can be a bitter cycle. And have problems. We have found that hydrating throughout the day has been more consistent to ward off some of those health issues with dehydration or different infections that can happen. So that will help. And it does actually cause more alertness and stimulus through the day with just those natural ingredients.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful that you do that at your facility, because, when I think about it myself, I don't make myself fruit infused water at home, but if someone else made it for me, I would drink it.
Yep, it is true.
What's some of the other marvelous amenities you have in addition to the
I think the grounds are incredible.
Uh-huh.
We are sat sort of back in Fox Lake, and you wouldn't necessarily know we exist.
No, it's in a residential community.
It is.
Yeah.
We're in a subdivision, but sat off of Rollins Road.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a little bit of a hidden gem.
Uh-huh.
I have to share, one of our residents that moved in last year, her favorite thing is sitting out on our front porch and looking over at the grounds and the gazebo and the raised garden beds. And she will do that all day long if you let her. And she just sits in her rocking chair and she's happy. She reads books. She greets visitors as they come in. And she's just really happy. So I think our grounds are a great amenity.
Mm-hmm.
Above that, I think it's the care that any of our residents that are with us receive.
Mm-hmm.
And that care is led by Wanda Clark, our Director of Health and Wellness. And we do have a nurse on site 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, not all of our residents need that support, but it's there and it gives them peace of mind. The care staff that we have, the caregivers, they come in on their days off to spend time with our residents. It's something where, and Jeanette, you've been to the property several times, you don't necessarily feel like there's care, meaning you don't see the nurses running around.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's something that's there, and it's almost our best kept secret, if you would, because we have residents that have special needs, from sliding scale diabetics to individuals that need assistance with things like incontinence management or helping transfer and walk. But it's there and they get what they need, very dignified.
It does look clinical.
No, it doesn't
Right.
look clinical at all.
No, because when you walk in, it's the foyer area, and then it's like the front room. So it's a residence that you're walking into versus walking into the nurse's station and seeing a bunch of people sitting there in their wheelchairs sleeping.
Yeah, that you won't see that. Although I will say, when you walk in, most of our residents or families and visitors will say it just feels like you're walking into someone's home.
It really does.
It feels like a home with open concepts. So that's a neat piece about that.
And so life enrichment and social activities. Can you tell us a little bit about that, what you have there?
Yeah, I think this is another really neat piece, and thank you for asking. Kathy is our life enrichment specialist. She creates programming for each of our cottages. And so those cottages could vary in what's going on. Assisted living, we have 2 cottages. One of them is a little bit more leaning towards, they like a little bit more arts and to do projects. And so they just finished a 4-week watercolor series. And those residents like that. They can go to the other cottages if they choose, but we have different things to meet different needs. It could be the Cubs game on or the Sox.
Sure.
I will tell you, we are very Chicago focused, but we have a bunch of Green Bay Packer fans that live with us because we're so close to the Wisconsin border. So there might be a game on. There's more to life than bingo. So there will be other things, from trivia to our garden walks and different things like that. But we do have bingo for those that like that.
I have to say about the garden walk, where you're situated there, because it's in a residential community or a subdivision, it has all those old trees around it. And so I feel that brings a lot of life to the property.
It does. Actually, we have 2, I believe, black squirrels that visit our community on a very regular basis. And so the residents will do squirrel watch, being out in there. They also do the gardening. We have different things for different residents because each person's purpose is different.
Right.
We have a woman who loves to sit out on the front porch, and she literally pulls all the spent blooms off of any of the flowers. And she loves to do that. That gives her purpose. So we will do that. But memory care has different programming. Our Flourish program is quite unique. Joy, our director of life enrichment at our corporate level for charter, has designed a program that really is all-encompassing, mind, body, and spirit. And Oshibori is just one part of that. And so finding purpose for each person with memory loss is important. Looking back to their past, what was important to them, not just a TV or a radio station, but something that gives them purpose.
And something that they enjoy.
Yes, very much so.
And so I think that comes into like the person-centered programming that you have, because you are focusing on the individual and, adding life enrichment for the individual, not as a group.
Correct. I think that's unique to us as well because we are smaller. We have the ability to look at each individual and work with them, the family and the medical professionals to provide what they need. If one of our residents in particular, her purpose is helping. She was a homemaker her whole life. And one of the things she likes to do is to be of service to others and setting the table or folding the napkins and the different pieces to her. That gives her purpose. And if you ask her, she figures that's her job and that's what she wants. It isn't that we make her do that. It's something she wants to do. Well, we have another gentleman who likes to clean and rake leaves. He was a handyman as part of his job. And so we find pieces of things for him to help with. And he might be out with Andrew, putting our maintenance director, putting together a new table or something.
Yeah.
What if the residents don't drive? How do they have access to a way to get around?
Yeah. So we do have a couple of residents that are driving that have their cars on property, but for the most part, for outings and different doctor appointments, we have our bus, and her name is Susie.
Susie the bus.
Funny.
Susie the bus. Our bus arrived late last summer. And the residents got together and they named her Susie. And so Susie the bus takes them out. We go out on many different types of outings, out for lunches, out for scenic drives, to the local farmers markets. But we'll also do visit other communities. We have some residents that have friends in other communities, and so we will be able to do that. And they are there for doctor's visits as well.
Nice. I'm glad that they didn't name the bus Christine. And so, do you have services that come to the community, to like doctors and?
So at our community, we do have visiting doctors that are there on a weekly basis. And so if our residents feel they want the continuity of not having to go to a doctor's appointment, they can do that. We have the ability to, we've partnered with different organizations. So we have a lab that comes in. We have an x-ray company that comes in. So we can sustain a lot within the community, as well as different services. We have Legacy therapy company who's on site. So they're providing therapy to residents that need it, as well as outside therapy companies that the residents may have had prior to coming. So they'll come in. We do have residents that, because this is their home and they stay with us and this is their environment, that might need palliative care or hospice care, and they can have that there within their community.
Cool.
So that is part of the services that can be there.
Nice.
How about as far as religious services? Do y'all have services on site?
We do. We have non-denominational, and we have actually one of the local churches in the area comes out and they do Catholic services and rosary. We have hymn sings. We find that individuals really like to get back to their faith, and that gives them comfort. And that might be something, if they had been more homebound or isolated, they weren't able to do, and they're able to experience that in the community.
That's fun.
And I find that the hymn service too is so important for us when we're working with clients that have memory care. And I imagine that you find that too.
Music and memory is an incredible connection. Music is one of those items that actually uses both sides of the brain. And for people that are having memory issues, it's something that can be constant for them. And they can focus on it and potentially have greater conversations. Music also helps individuals with neurological disorders such as Parkinson's. Certain music helps them be able to create their tasks better, whether it's marching or walking. And so we use both of those within our community to support our residents with their daily life.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Do you have any a waiting list or anything right now? Or?
Currently, I don't have a waiting list.
Cool.
I'm happy to announce that Monday we're opening our 4th cottage. So our 2nd memory care cottage opens on Monday.
Cool.
I actually do have some move-in specials for assisted living and memory care. And anybody can reach out to me directly and I can go over that with them. So no waiting list right now. But I feel it won't be long before there will be a wait list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about if someone wants or needs a respite stay?
We do respite stays, and our respite stays can be anywhere from basically a 2 to 3 day stay up to, that month stay if that is needed. And we were able to do longer if needed. We work with each one of our families and seniors on a case-by-case basis to provide what they need. And sometimes respite stays are really good. Prime example, we had a family that was going out of town. They normally supported their loved one in their home. And because they were going to be gone for about 3 weeks, they had her come stay with us, and it was her choice. And she came and stayed with us for 3 weeks, and she had a staycation, and it worked for them. And then she went back home. We also see people after hospitalizations or maybe a stay in a rehab come to us for a short time until they can go back home and maybe have a private duty care company such as Right at Home support them at home for some come and go or littler tasks. And we've been used as a transition piece.
And would a resident be able to be discharged from the hospital and come to your facility, or do they have to have that rehab piece in the middle?
No, they can actually come straight to us. The clarity on that would be a lot of times they're using their Medicare benefit when they're going to skilled nursing, and we're private pay.
Okay.
But we can support with the 24-hour nursing and therapy on site. We have had people come directly to us, both in assisted living and memory care, both for long-term placement and for a respite or short-term stay.
Well, that's great to know, because even though it has that Medicare piece in it, a lot of people want to just, they don't want to go into a skilled nursing facility, and so this makes it so much nicer.
It's a different environment to get the care that somebody needs. And it's nice to know it's out there to support and to nurture the individual where they are and help them get back on their feet if it is a short-term thing, or get them back on their feet and then be able to get purpose back to each one of their days.
The quality of life is so important. Yeah,
it is.
Although we're all senior advocates, I don't think that we're going to be able to change the system, but it would be wonderful if Medicare would understand how much faster people heal at home and offer that benefit to home-like services.
Yes.
So I said it. There was my political statement for the day. And so your property, it's so comfortable and cozy, and we want to make sure that we take the time to let people contact you. So please share your contact information, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Not a problem. To reach me at the cottages, you can reach me directly on our cell phone. It's with me. And that phone number is 847-437-4663. And I'll repeat it once more because I always need it twice. It's 847-437-4663. You can also follow us on Facebook at the Cottages of Fox Lake, or our website, which is www.cottagesoffoxlake.com. And that will lead you right to us.
Got it. Wonderful. And then can you give us the address?
Our address is 16 Lilac Avenue in Fox Lake. We're about a block off of Rollins Road. So if you're familiar with Fox Lake at all, you'll see the movie theater on Rollins Road. We're going to be past that. You take a quick turn on to Rose Avenue, a quick turn on to Pine, and you're at Lilac.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're at our community when you see 4 cottages that are all one story and a big fountain out front. And you feel sort of like you're at a little vacation town.
It really is, yeah. And so many people from Chicago came to Fox Lake, as the summer resort town.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel that a lot of people from Chicago or anywhere really would have that feeling by coming to the cottages.
Thanks. I'm always intrigued by how everybody reacts to our community because it's unlike anything else. And I've had people say it feels like I'm on summer vacation all year round,
Yeah.
So,
even in the winter.
what a compliment.
Yeah, it really is a compliment.
Thank you.
And so I know you have some activities coming up.
So we have 2 events off the top of my head that are coming up here in June.
Uh-huh.
The first one, we're actually doing a For Fun dog show on June 15th. At 10:30, and we are a pet-friendly community. So we have 2 current little dogs that live at our community with their owners. They become part of our family.
Yeah. And thank goodness they're there because, we do the Dementia Live experience. And one of the things is to feed the dog. And I can tell you that the dog never gets fed.
Poor dog.
Our dogs at the community, they're doing well. Their owners take really, really good care of them. But we're having a Just for Fun dog show. So at 10:30 on Saturday, June 15th, which is actually the Saturday before Father's Day.
Okay.
We're having that. And then the bigger event, which everybody is more than welcome to come. And if you want information on either one of these, please just reach out and I'll get more to you, is our luau. We are having Polynesian dancers. They're going to do a knife demonstration as well.
Wow.
So there will be dancers and music, and then we're going to have some light refreshments as well. And that's on June 29th, which is a Saturday, from 2 to 4 p.m.
All right. And then if somebody wanted to take a tour of the cottages, how would they do that?
All they have to do is either stop in or give me a call. I'd love to be available or have our wonderful team available. Alda's our executive director, and she certainly would be more than happy to have anybody there from start to finish. You can just reach out to us on the cell, our marketing cell at 847-437-4663. And the only time I don't answer that is normally when I'm working with a family.
Sure.
But if anybody has any questions about our community, or if you're looking for an assisted living and just not sure how to go about it, I'm a senior advocate. I will help you with whatever you need. And I know Jeanette knows that, and sometimes it is staying at home and different things like that. We want each individual to find what they need, and we have resources to help provide for that.
Well, thanks so much for being our guest today, Deana.
Oh, thank you. It was an honor to be with you.
Thank you.